You have reached Red Steele's Total Review. I'm your man, Red Steele, and today I'll be reviewing from Transformers Legacy United, Cannonball. Transformers Legacy United Cannonball. But before I get to the actual review, I just want to go over some of the spectacular details on this packaging. Up front here, a couple spoilers showing you about the figure and all the accessories inside. On top of the packaging here, you have the Transformers Legacy United logo. In the corner, you have the 8+, which is the age requirement for this figure. You have the corner here, you have the Takara Tomy Transformers Generations logo. Alongside here, it says Transformers middle, you have a beautiful illustration of Cannonball in his car mode. Then over here it says Star Raider Cannonball. Below that again you have the Transformers Legacy United logo. Corner here the Hasbro emblem, and down here it says it is a deluxe class figure. The other side of the packaging here, you have two more profile shots of Cannonball in his robot mode. The other side of the packaging here, you have this beautiful montage of all the Transformers in Transformers Legacy United, starting with Tigerhawk, Wingblade, Magnius, Magmatron. You have Tasmania Kid over here. Below that you have Megatron. Below all of them, you have Thundertron, and over here you have Nucleus, and down here it says 40 years of Transformers. On the back of the packaging here, the very corner it says Transformers More Than Meets the Eye. Then over here you have Star Raider Cannonball, and down here you have all of the figure's features, such as Cannonball in his robot mode, Cannonball in his car mode. Then over here you have 40 years of Transformers, and down here you have the Hasbro emblem. Transformers Legacy United Deluxe Class Star Raider Cannonball. Cannonball was released March 2024 with the suggested retail price of $24.99 and is available exclusively at Walmart. Lockdown is a Transformers Cybertron-inspired figure that converts to his car mode in 14 steps. His accessories include a cyber key, hammer, claw, removable roof piece, and instructions. Cannonball stands 5.5 inches tall and he is meant for fans ages 8 and up. Now I'm going to go ahead and convert Cannonball from his robot mode all the way to his car mode. But the first thing you always want to do before you transform any of your Transformers, you want to remove all their weapons and accessories. So I'm going to take his claw here. I'm going to put this off to the side. With the first of the transformation, you want to take Cannonball's legs, you want to push them together, but you got a bunch of tabs and portholes in between them. You want to line them all up and push them together just like that. This is step number 2. Inside Cannonball's legs, you got a wheel right there and right there. There's a hinge joint right here. You want to flip this wheel up just like that. Do that to the side of this wheel now and flip it up just like that. This is step number 3. Take Cannonball's arms right here and right here. You want to take his arm now. You want to swing it back just like that. Do that to the other side of this arm now and swing it back just like that. So step number 4, we want to bend Cannonball forward. We want to do it right at the hip. You want to take him now. You want to go ahead and bend him forward just like that. So step number 5, get a hinge joint right there. You want to go and bend him back up just like that. So he should look like that. Kind of a condenser version of Cannonball. Then step number 6, get this backpack right here. You want to go ahead and take this backpack, double jointed hinge, you want to kind of slide it down just like that. So step number 7, you want to take his chest piece now. You want to untab it just like that. This step number 8, you want to take that chest piece and bring it all the way up over the head just like that. This step number 9, on the back of the thigh right here you have a tab right there and right there. And in the roof right here you have a porthole. You want to kind of tab everything into place just like that. Step number 10, you want to turn Cannonball all the way around. You have his arm right there and right there. Right where the bicep meets the shoulder, right there and right there, you have a swivel joint. You want to take these arm pieces and you want to rotate them outward just like that. Do that to the side of his arm piece now and rotate it outward just like that. Then step number 11, you get a little groove right there and right there. You get a little tab right there and right there. Want to swing the shorter piece in so that groove goes right over that tab, just like that. Do that to the other side. You get that swivel joint right here. You want to bring it in and make sure that groove goes right over that tab, just like that. So step number 12. On the leg right here, you have a panel right there and right there. You have a hinge joint right there and right there. You want to go and flip that panel down just like that. Do that to the side of that panel, flip it down just like that. So step number 13 now. You want to take this whole top piece now, right with the feet. You want to bring it all down just like that. Because in the 14th and final step, you have a hinge joint right there and right there. You want to bring this piece all the way down just like that. Want to do that to the other side. Want to bring this piece down just like that. And now you have Cannonball in his full car mode. Now you have Cannonball in his car mode and on my display table. So we'll go over some of his plate features and accessories. First by talking about his cyber key. In order for Cannonball to utilize the cyber key, in front of the cyber key, you have this little tab right here. Behind his light bar here, you have this Star Raider symbol. Back of that Star Raider symbol, you have a little porthole. You want to take that cyber key and put it right in that porthole, just like that. And now you have Cannonball armed with the cyber key. Unfortunately, the cyber key doesn't have the function to unlock any play features like cannons popping out like the original. But it's a cool nod to the original version of Cannonball. There's the next accessory I'm going to bring in is his hammer. In order to arm Cannonball with this hammer while he's in his car mode, bottom of the hammer right here you have a little peg. On the back of his bumper right here you have a little porthole. You just take that hammer, you plug it right into that porthole just like that, and now you have Cannonball armed with his hammer. But the next accessory I'm going to bring in is his claw. The same thing with this claw. On the back of this claw here you have a 5mm peg. On the back of his bumper you have another 5mm porthole. You want to go and stick that claw right into the bumper just like that. And now you have Cannonball with all of his weapons stored while he's in his car mode. That's a pretty cool play feature, but personally I'm not a big fan of arming my Transformers while they're in their vehicle mode. Especially this hammer and claw doesn't really make sense because it doesn't really play into the transformation. So I'm going to pull these out. I'm going to leave the cyber key in because that is a gimmick that is utilized in Cybertron. Unfortunately, this version of Cannonball doesn't have the same gimmick as the original Cannonball, where that cyber key was used to kind of unlock secret weapons on the Transformers. And unfortunately, this one they didn't really program or issue a function on this figure. But nonetheless, it is a cool figure. And I do own an actual Cannonball from Cybertron. Unfortunately, I could not find him, and I spent hours looking for him. So I can't really do a side-by-side comparison. But that version of Cannonball is a redeco and a slight retooling of Cybertron First Aid. So, and I didn't feel like it was appropriate to bring out First Aid to do the side-by-side comparison. So I'm just going to go without either comparison because this figure nonetheless is a pretty cool figure. He is an extreme retooling of Skids, which is a retooling of Crankcase. So they went from Skids to Crankcase to this. So you got 7 degrees of separation, but essentially he was Skids. I mean, the transformations are quite similar, but there's enough retooling where it kind of differentiates between Skids and Cannonball. Very, very nice figure. I do like the paint deco right here with the skull. That did carry over from the original concept design from Cybertron. Even the paint scheme. The Star Raider, I'm not sure where that comes from. I can't remember if he was a Decepticon or maybe the Star Raiders were part of Cybertron. I know in Cybertron they had several different planets, and that's where these keys came into place, where every planet had a separate planetary key that eventually unlocked Primus. Pretty cool. It was a pretty cool series. And if you have a chance, go and check it out. I believe it is on Tubi or one of the streaming networks. But this figure is really nice. The wheels do roll. Mine's a little tight, so it's not going to roll. But I wouldn't recommend rolling these figures on any abrasive surfaces because the mold does kind of roll pretty close to the surface here. You don't risk doing any mold damages here because you cause a little bit of damage to the feet, and it looks like the plate that goes over the foot right here too. But it's a very nicely done figure. We'll go and rotate around so you can see what it looks like from all angles. And I would say go ahead and pick him up if you see him in store shelves because he's in a very limited run right now. He is available at Walmart as an exclusive, and I haven't seen too many of these on the shelves. Now they have Cannonball in this robot mode, and on my display table, I once again want to go over some of his play features and accessories. First, I talk about his cyber key. And according to the instructions, like you did earlier on, you could arm Cannonball with this cyber key while he's in his robot mode. And as he's on the bottom of the cyber key, you have a little tab right here. You want to go turn Cannonball all the way around, and much like earlier on, behind this Star Raiders insignia, you have a little porthole. I'll plug that key right into that porthole just like that. And now you have Cannonball armed with this planetary key. Pretty cool play feature. Unfortunately, it doesn't unlock any play features like it did in the original Cybertron version of Cannonball, where it unlocks some cannons. But it's very forgivable, and I think it's really cool that they still included this accessory with his figures. The next accessory I want to bring in is his hammer. And according to the instructions, it would arm this hammer on Cannonball while he's in his robot mode. As on top of this hammer right here, you have 3 portholes, but you want to use the one in the middle. On his left arm, you have this little cannon, which is actually a little peg. You take that cannon, you plug it right into the center porthole just like that, and now you have Cannonball armed with his hammer. Pretty cool. And also according to the instructions, there's a way to store this hammer while Cannonball is in his robot mode. You do that by taking that hammer now. You want to take the leg now, you want to turn it out like that, and it reveals a cavity right there. You want to take this hammer with the peg facing in. Get that notch right around this last prong right here. You have a couple slots right there. You want to make sure that notch goes into the slots just like that. And now you have his hammer stored while he's in his robot mode. And I think that's really cool that post Beast Wars, they started letting the Transformers store their weapons on their robot modes or in their vehicle modes. And it plays into part of the transformation. Because a lot of the Beast Wars figures, that was the first toy line where they were able to store their weapons while they're in their robot or animal modes. But it kind of carried over after that, and I love it because, you know, if you're a G1 fan, you remember all the accessories, you have to store it and they get lost now. It's nice to have a place to put them. Next accessory I'm going to bring in is his claw. In order to arm Cannonball with this claw while he's in his robot mode, bottom of the claw right here, you have a porthole. Get in with that cannon, you want to plug it right into that claw just like that. And now you have Cannonball armed with his claw. Pretty cool accessory. And that's something that carried over from the original design of Cannonball. He did have a hammer and claw, which I think is really cool. And this figure is a retooling of Crankcase, which was a heavy retooling of Skid. So 7 degrees of separation, and sometimes when you have a retooling, they just include the original accessories. But they did include the accessories that come with First Aid / Cannonball. And First Aid, if you're not aware, he is a redeco, or Cannonball was a redeco of First Aid. So First Aid came out first, then Cannonball. And I don't think that they're going to release a First Aid under this mold because there's going to be a new toy line coming out very shortly where they do have a First Aid. So I'm very excited about that because if they do bring out that First Aid, and if he is, you know, based on the original First Aid, then we're probably going to get a true Cannonball where they're going to do a redeco of that First Aid, because this right here is not really a real Cannonball, but it's kind of cool that they tried. And Hasbro, Takara are known for trying to make as much money as they can from one mold, which they did. They kind of did a redeco of what they would presume as a First Aid, but he is still Skid because First Aid's transformation is much different, and his chest was not part of the vehicle. It simulates it is, but it wasn't, and you got some other differences in the transformation. But in order to store Cannonball's claw while he's in his robot mode, you take his claw out, you take the other leg now and you turn it in like that, and you get that cavity right here. Again, we'll take the claw with the peg facing up, you get that little notch right here. We'll make sure it goes around that groove, just like that. And now you have Cannonball with both of his weapons stored while he's in his robot mode. And I think I love that. I love that play feature. But this figure nonetheless is a really, really nice figure, even though he's not a true Cannonball in my sense, because he's not a redeco of First Aid, and I don't think they're going to bring out a First Aid because I think they're just wrapping it up with this toy line. And unfortunately, Cannonball, the original Cannonball, and I do have one, I spent hours looking in my storage unit, I could not find him. And I know I do have him, and he was a hard one to get, and he was one of the last waves of Cybertron. So I knew that I collected, I think I have every Cybertron figure except for Metroplex from the original run. And I do own the Legacy Metroplex, which is really, really nice. And I think I'm missing Menasor too, but those are only 2 figures I'm missing from that toy line. But I can swear up and down I have a Cannonball. And maybe someday I'll do a retrospective thing where I'll do some comparisons of some of the older, newer figures. And it'll be nice, like I said, once they come out with first date for the next toy line, if they decide to bring out Cannonball, which I don't doubt they won't. They will bring out a Cannonball later on. But his figure's nicely done. The one concern I do have is these parts right here, the thigh, his hip, his torso, his arms, and his shoulder, and even his neck right here, or this piece that's connecting his head. Even the cannons are all molded out of that gold plastic. And I'm not sure if this is going to be victim to that gold plastic syndrome. Because you do have the gold right there, but that's like gold paint. And they should have done that with the other parts, because this gold paint right here has that metallic luster. And it could be a plastic though, I'm not sure. But if you shine certain angles of light, it does have that luster, and you have that right here on the trim of the doors. So I'm guessing that is paint. And you have it right here. But that's really cool. It really pops too, except for this part right here where it kind of has that black bleeding out from underneath it. You get that Star Raider insignia, and I'm not too sure what a Star Raider is. And if any of you guys know what a Star Raider is, can you leave a comment below, because I'm not sure if it's a comic book or if it's just a faction that they just decided to pump out a few more redecos out of. It's a great figure nonetheless. I would say pick him up if you see him. Very hard to find. He is a Walmart exclusive, and they are kind of running towards the end of that line right now. If you found any of the information in this review valuable, please like and share this video. Also, if you really enjoy my content, please subscribe to my channel, and while you're there, click the bell to be notified of any future videos. I want to thank you guys for watching Red Steele's Awesome Toy Collector Review. I'll check you guys out next time.